Yes, sir. And this is 94.1 KPFA, Durags and Conversations. And we just having a little conversation about colorism for those who are just now tuning in. We got Dominique, and then we got Shanthi, and it's me and David. And we're about to get into Dominique's poem pieces from her book, Soulful Devotions, which is out now. So take it away, Miss Dominique.
Hi. Thank you, Eric, for that, lovely intro. So for those who don't know, of course you don't know, but my book, Soulful Devotions, is available on Amazon and also Barnes & Nobles online. In honor of International Women's Month.
Hey.
Okay.
Say that one more time.
In honor of International Women's Month.
Come on now.
I was cueing y'all. Y'all supposed to be like, hey. Y'all getting hype. Okay. I want to do, my first poem is called Bold Woman. I feel like a lot of times in life as women, we get told to just, in a way, stay in our place or don't make too much noise. But I feel like as women, we need to own our voice and be strong and be powerful within that. So that's what this piece came out of. So here we go, y'all. She is fearless, driven. She hella strong. Sometimes she's scared, but you would never know it because she hides it so well. She persistent. She doesn't take no for an answer. She walked through the fire and still came out ahead. Does she have scars? Yeah, she got scars, but she wears them with honor. She takes pride in her scars and values the lessons each of them have taught her. You see, the fire thought it was going to destroy her, take all of her hopes and dreams and burn them down to ashes. The fire underestimated her power and overestimated theirs. Did not realize she is a warrior. She goes for whatever she wants. She has the power. Since God is within her, she can't fall. She remains realistic and understands her current circumstances aren't the best. But she pushes forward day after day, moment after moment. She is bold and lives her life unapologetically. Bold describes her perfectly because she lives her truth out loud, regardless if you agree. Fearless? Yeah, fearless she is.
Yes, sir.
Hey. Yeah. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I wrote another piece too. Well, I got pieces, but this one is specifically talking to Black women. So here we go. Being a Black woman is hard. It comes with challenges you could never fully understand unless you are one. As Black women, we are constantly fighting to prove ourselves. Fighting European standards of beauty, proving we are worthy and beautiful. As Black women, we hardly get to make excuses. That's like a foreign language to us. All we know how to do is get the job done. We are the glue to our families and communities. We hold things together. We have to be strong when sometimes we want to be weak. We make sure our children eat regardless if they have a father or not. Being a Black woman is powerful. We can make something out of nothing. Our spirit rises through adversity. We give our children encouragement while keeping it real at the same time. We hold power in our bodies, our words. We are beautiful. We do not know how to lose despite all the odds being stacked against us. We rise, we are bold, but most of all, we are unbreakable.
Hello.
Yes. That is powerful.
Woo. Come on now, bringing that heat. Are there privileges based on skin color in your community? And if so, what is it?
And I'd like to add to that, and ask, from your perspective, from the female perspective, are there privileges based on skin color in your community? And if so, what is it?
I think that beauty comes with great privileges. Beauty is a privilege, and if a community perceives lighter skin to be more beautiful, then I believe you're treated differently. You get treated better from childhood to adulthood. So I would say that as a general observation. That's what I've seen.
I think that narrative is changing. I will say, I feel like we as people of color, not just in the Black community, I feel like we're having more open dialogue around this conversation. So with that open dialogue, I feel like we're all being more aware of it. However, traditionally, I do think that lighter skinned women have been given some type of privilege over more darker hues of brown or different shades of brown, just because they're seen as more beautiful. And quite honestly, if you compare them to like a darker skinned woman, they get judged a little less harshly. They get passes that other that darker women don't necessarily get. However, I do think that narrative is changing.
So what examples, when you say that they kind of give passes to lighter skinned women, what is an example or two? Like
an example, you'll have a gorgeous brown skinned woman or a gorgeous dark skinned woman, right? And then it's like a woman that is light skinned, and honestly, as far as like features and everything, she's not as attractive as the other women, but because her skin tone is lighter, it's automatically you look better than the other women. I feel like in media traditionally has played a big part in that, making sure the cast looks a certain way, or that it's like that token Black woman, that token Black girl, but she's not gonna look a certain way. She's not gonna be dark skinned. She's gonna look light skinned. She's gonna have like quote unquote good hair. I do feel like now with more Black creators, we are broadening what Black women with women of color actually look like and showing a real representation of that.
Nice. I agree.
I do notice that, like in pop culture, right? In like telenovelas, in, soap operas and things like that, the darker skinned peoples, and what I've seen, in the Latino culture, is that, the darker skinned women, darker skinned men, they're always portrayed as the help.
Yes. Speak on it.
And I'm just curious to know, with what you've seen, with what you've experienced, is that similar? Is that a similar thing that happens, throughout the world?
Speaking of Indian cinema, Indian television shows, I'm not even sure that even The Help has darker skin.
Oh.
I mean, I think they really only cast people with lighter skin, and darker skinned actresses tend to be more in art house films, independent films.
Oh, so what's opposite?
No, everyone has light skin. Like if you look at Bollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone from, whatever social strata you're looking at, they all have light skin.
It's like colored people don't exist.
Yeah, it's all very...
So there's no color spectrum. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. But when you get the darker skinned actresses, they tend to be more with independent film or, the art house films.
So they're typically not in Bollywood, the darker skin.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it's a little opposite, but not quite. Like it's when we look at movies and stuff in America, typically dark-skinned people, not all, but typically, they're in the maid, like you said, maid type roles and stuff, and the lighter skin are like the lead, actresses and stuff like that. But then what you're saying in India, especially in Bollywood, which is very big, is saying that there's no color spectrum, which I guess would be more of the opposite piece from America. But the part that's not so opposite is that the darker skin, they don't make it to Bollywood, they make it to the independent. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
What about you, Dom?
I think the two movies that come to mind is Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. The lighter, his love interest, she was light skinned. However, I didn't like how they made the darker, her sister, who happened to be darker than her, they made her out to be a loose woman. Basically someone that just lay around and chase after men. And then the lighter woman was the classy one, the one who was educated, the one who had a job. It's deeper than just, it's color, but it's what they try to attach to these different hues of brown. And another one I would say was Love and Basketball. Even with Sanaa Lathan and Gabrielle Union, I feel like they made Gabrielle the fast one. And I just remember watching that as a kid, because it came out in the early 2000s. And I had a conversation with my brother, and I was like, I like Sanaa and I liked her because to me she was cool, she could ball, she was just bad to me, you know? And he was like, why? Because she lighter than Gabrielle. And when he said that, I never thought about it like that, but I'm sure there's people that watched that film who had that sort of take, or who automatically just assumed that she was more attractive, or they liked her more because of her lighter skin.
Right.
And you know one thing,
even with baby dolls.
Baby doll test.
With baby dolls, but you know what? My mom, she was very conscious of it. She would go out and buy me brown babies. Like wherever she would not buy me any white dolls. White dolls. My grandma would, like other people in my family would, but she made it a point to buy me brown dolls because she wanted me to play with things that look like me.
Yes.
Dolls that look like me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
yes, please. And earlier, Shanthi, I know you mentioned that there was like a religious connotation, within the culture.
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know if there's, but I remember reading the Ramayana, right, where the Ram is represented as a black, like dark man, and then but when I saw the movie, when I saw the cartoon, it was completely opposite.
Yeah, he's basically white.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that if you look at a picture of Hindu deities, they will have basically Caucasian skin. I mean, basically like white skin. And it's just pervasive. I think so much of colorism is based in what is assumed and what is not even thought about, sort of these automatic associations and choices that we make. So most Hindu deities are represented as very light-skinned. Even Ram, Ram in the actual Ramayana is dark. Same, Krishna is dark.
Lakshmi.
I mean, these people are Indian, or they're, if they had passports, they would be Indian. These gods, and so their skin would it would have a variety of hues, I'm sure, but that's not what you see represented.
Right. So we're gonna have our final thoughts towards the end, and we got G.1.S and King Tahoe performing a new joint off their new EP. So stick around, don't go nowhere, and we're gonna go into a little short instrumental. And so Radio Shack, hit that.
Down. Friday to Thursday, getting this cake like it's my birthday. Survived in my birthplace, in my worst ways, come my first case though. Vacation for 6, it's time that I missed for hitting that lick. Now I'm legit, got me a bitch and we on the same shit. Focus, remember them days I was hopeless. Same clothes, hope no one would notice. Flip a zip, then cop the fit, now look who the coldest. Small time for a young mind, but I never smoked it. All profit, fell in love with the hustle, trying to feed my pockets.